Bryant and he does,
Right.
the character of man that he is, and so there's also a tip of a cap to a guy that's you know. I was telling him pregame, you don't seem to ride the roller coasters of the ups and downs. You're even keel, and you know, because managing that and keeping your kids in the fight whenever things haven't necessarily gone your way, and he certainly seems to be doing that with his kids, and the effort that they played with the other night. If I didn't respect him before, which I do, I certainly respect him
Absolutely.
after the way he got his kids to play. So there's also a tip of the cap for the job that he did, and you know.
Well, tell me about a game like this when you've got. I mean, you're coming off of a couple of tough losses to Ruston and Washita. It's no doubt the season that they've had an opportunity for you to get back on track, but it's community, it's school, it's kids that have grown up playing in the youth football leagues together. So you take those records and you chunk them out. There's going to be effort, and you knew that, and you saw that out of that Rebels team towards the end of the year last year as well. Mm-hmm. They're always going to play you guys tough. What does that type of game do for our community?
Well, I mean, we want to get where those ball games. I mean, you turn on the film, and we've had our home crowds have been great in some of these ball games. I think back to when we hosted St. Thomas More last year, just the size of the crowd, some of our ball games early in the year this year. I mean, homecoming was our last home game before this. I mean, or Ruston, I'm sorry. I mean, our crowds have been great, but when you get two communities that are close in proximity, and we can get late into the year where you're playing for something, then I think that people will turn out. And that's kind of on us as coaches and players to go give them a product where they there's a buzz and an excitement in the air of, hey, I want to be at that ball game. And it's funny that you say that. We've been here a long time, but I can remember Coach Free talking about the first time we played Pineville. Like, man, this is back in 2015 was our first experience in the Ash Pineville game, and just the energy and the crowd size and what everybody was doing. He's like, man, this is going to be fun, and Bryant's going to get it back going, and we're going to get some of those big ball games as we get down the line. I mean, it's the only local game that we play anymore.
Right, and that's tragic because, and this precedes you and your staff that's there now, but it used to be districts when a lot of them were 4A that had Tioga and Ash and Bolton and Pineville all in that same district, and and that everybody would just battle around here, and that made for interesting football. Now, when you get out of the Central Louisiana area, it made it difficult. It was good while it was here, but when you'd get out, there was not a lot of success. And I know you faced and exercised those demons when we got in there.
Yeah, 2-5A has done a lot for us because you've had no choice but to compete with our kids. Our school, our administrators, our coaches have embraced that challenge, and I think it's certainly made us better. And playing some of these people around the state has certainly stretched us and made us better. And we'll continue. I don't know what the LHSA will look like in future years.
I don't know what it'll look like next week. The way they're going. Send your complaints to @Chuck Perkins if you're
No, I mean, there's no complaints.
No,
I mean,
when the LHSAA calls me and tells me to quit talking about them.
Well, look, I think we've said on here, and I know we're touching on a bunch of different stuff, but, in so many ways, for me, there's a respect factor that they made a decision and they did something. Anybody that's been in leadership knows that when you make decisions, some people are happy, some people aren't happy. I don't know that what we were doing was the best thing for high school sports. I don't know that it's not. I mean, I've got my opinions on things, but, they're the people in leadership. They're the ones that were elected to represent us, and they made a decision, and, here we are, and, it's the hand we've been dealt. I don't plan on spending much time complaining about it.
That's right.
I plan on trying to take the things
move
that
forward
we
and
can
grab
do.
and go.
Yeah, let's go. Nobody, as we've talked about, and trying to tie this back, because I do know we're in this opening, jumping around.
Sometimes our opening segments get a little skewed.
But back to this.
I said skewed.
You were talking about, we've come up short the two previous weeks and all this, and here you are playing a rivalry game, trying to get yourself going again, and I think it it ties back into it. I can remember Coach Denny telling me in high school, he was also my pastor, my coach, all kinds of things.
Right.
And, he might have preached a message or, shared with us, y'all need to understand life don't wait on the wounded. Tomorrow's coming.
That's deep.
And while you're going through something, life's going to continue to roll at you. So don't spend time in your misery feeling sorry for yourself because it continues to roll. And that's a good message for our kids because they're battling, your heart's broken and, but you got to get up and you got to get ready and you got to prepare for this one and then the next one, however it goes. So, life didn't wait on us. The next game was coming, and to our kids' credit, to our coaches' credit, they prepared and we were able to get a win on Friday night. So.
Look, Chuck, moving back that light. I was about to have to get the suntan lotion out.
People are complaining too bright. Like, man, get that guy off the
I don't know. Yeah, look, I'm going to have to put one of those hats on there, too. We're going to take a break. When we come I like to do that when he gets up from the chair. When we come back, Coach, let's go through some of the highlights. And I've got to send a shout-out to my man James Harrington because we're going to take a look at his big touchdown reception on the night. We'll do that, and we'll do all of that when we come back. We are live here at Walk-Ons. You still have time to make it out. Still a couple of tables remaining, so come on out and check us out. We are live at Walk-Ons. This is the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing on 446 Sports.
That's what I'm talking about.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin, an idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk-On.
Walk-Ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Senla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, We have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
We are back to walk-ons. I am Doug Gann alongside of head coach Thomas Bachman. And here's an opportunity. Boy, somebody turned the lights off on us, didn't they? Goodness gracious.
That's
Chuck always
complaining.
fiddling. The glare off of my, I don't know if it was off of my well, I'm not going to get into
you were kids, you know.
Look,
about hair.
We're going to take an opportunity to look at some of the plays, Coach, and this was one of the ones that was pretty special on the night. As we'll get that up on our screen here momentarily. Take me through the setup of this play before we get to the ending of it. This isn't the first touchdown. This is just the one that I wanted to get on there first and take a look at.
Yeah, this is the third touchdown of the first half. We're just in, what's commonly referred to as tray in football terminology.
And what does that mean?
Tight end trips, tight end.
There you go.
3 receivers, tight end makes the third. It's just tray, and we run a lot of outside zone, or we run a lot of gap scheme to this. It's just off of a look that we ran a lot. We're going to run a little play action pass, a little.
They've got cushion on the corners, but your safeties have played up. You've only got one guy deep, and you've got the perfect.
It's just a 4 vertical concept. They're playing.
Which means this guy is going to, and there's a cursor that's going on.
There's a single safety here in the middle of the defense.
That's right.
Right? So they're either playing cover 1 or cover 3 would be, about as elementary as I know how to explain it. So if they're playing 3, he's got a deep third, he's got deep third, he's got a deep third. If we've got 3 deep players, what's the easiest way to attack 3 deep players? 4 vertical
people.
Threats.
That's right.
I mean, that's the very basic, easiest way to
and so
it.
In the 4 verts, you've got your receiver here that's going.
He's actually going to run a stop route, but yes.
And then 2 at the top.
Yep.
You've got Datlin that's going to stay in and block, I believe. Is that
a little play action? We're going to take a little outside zone to him.
All right, let's watch that develop, and then we'll go back through it.
We'll see a little fit. We're going to get a little fit out of the backers. Here they go, get a little fit, and just a simple little. We got 4 verts. Joe, make the safety be wrong. He can hit the crosser, and he can hit the seam Domingo right there.
Now, what makes that one special, and we'll go back because I actually pointed out the wrong side of it. So James Harrington, number 85, and he spends a lot of time on the line. He also spends a lot of time as your H-back, typical H-back that you've had.
It's just tight end. He's either on or off, tight end on, tight end off, different things. It's easier to get him as a vertical threat, when he's attached as a tight end. So.
And this is the first touchdown, I believe, in the career of James, and he goes up and makes a good catch, spins around, and
I
look.
was worried they were going to call him down at the half-yard line, and I don't know what more we have for him from the half-yard line.
We got to line him up refrigerator style and put him in the.
He'd have been blocking for somebody else to get in.
Sure
but no,
would.
That is a really, and then the cool thing is just, watch the sideline, run it back a little bit, we're scoring a touchdown.
And
but
so this is what you're wanting to look at down here.
This is your teammates excited. Coach Skip, just the excitement of teammates because they know all the dirty work that he does, and so to be able to get him in the end zone, the excitement from his teammates is really cool.
Look at our guy 59 right here.
Yep.
That should be Cohen.
Yep.
Yeah. And we talked about when we spoke to him on the show, you've told us and he told us there was no more vocal of a supporter than Cohen. And if you don't see it, and this is his story. But look at him just jumping and so fired up. Can't wait to get him back on the field.
Yep.
And look at Mingo in the middle of the field. Mingo was the wide open pass. Mingo had it easy. Harrington gets it. But look how excited he is for his teammates. And that's a guy that's been putting in work. And look, I told you a big shout out to him. We were up at LSU doing that game Saturday and passed by him and his dad. and briefly spoke to him, and I'm lost in the crowd before I realized, wait a minute, that was
Yep.
and I'm like, so my goodness.
I have that feeling all the time. Your
look,
mind's preoccupied, and you run into somebody, and it's like, golly, I hope I didn't.
And so I want them to know that, no, I know it, but it was right after I was past it that I realized what was going on. I was like, dadgummit, what a great opportunity, because I looked for him after the game. We were going to do a clip with him and do it, but he's back in the locker room. As always, a taking care of business type of thing.
Cool for me to see, too, as a coach, that, Mingo's obviously wide open on this, too. And rather than, being upset about not being the guy that got the ball, he's celebrating his teammate. And that's the unselfishness of, look, they're competitors. They all want the ball.
Sure they do.
You wouldn't want them out there if they weren't the guy that wanted it. But, the fact that he's celebrating a teammate and as excited for him is that's the chemistry that you want in the locker room.
It's certainly a family moment that is out there, and this team epitomizes that word family there, and you can just see all of it.
Hey, Doug, and if I can throw one thing in there, if you're on Huddle, if you'll go over to the right-hand side of your screen down at the bottom, you see that little pencil? I believe you can annotate on there. So if you're trying, instead of them watching the cursor, you can actually do that. Just
Oh, see, yeah, I'm gonna end up messing things up, Chuck. That gives me way too much. So that's Chuck that you hear from in the back.
Is this Huddle or is
we
this?
downloaded it from the Huddle? Yes.
You're way beyond me right now.
So
I can do it on Huddle.
Yeah.
This is Huddle now. So we're on here. So let's. Boy, Chuck, look what we have worked out.
No, it's not blue and.
Well, we have till 9 o'clock. So go ahead and have fun.
You can begin to.
Well, we just have to change the color of it now is all that we do, but we got it. Yeah. So there you go. And no, that's not the moon in the back. That's the recording that you see. That wasn't one of those blood moons they call it. Let's see if there you go. So now we'll get back out of this, and this is the first interception. So a couple of firsts is what we put up there. What you're seeing is that interception from Mingo, and we've got about 1,500 views on the little interview that I did with Mama after the game, talking up there.
He's a special kid, isn't he?
Without a doubt. So take us through here. Pineville, they're going for it. This is second down.
Second, but it's the end of, we're late in the first half, and I don't know, there's around a minute. I can't remember the exact time. I'm trying to see it in my I can't see it, but, there's maybe a minute, and, they're not going to be able to just methodically, they've got to start pressing just a little bit, and it's, situational where Mingo understands that if they're going to dink and dunk and throw it underneath, he's going to rally and tackle and get the ball on the ground. He's not going to give up the big play, and they try and take a shot, and, he's going to give up no post, no go here. And
let's take it through that, and we'll talk a little bit about Mingo going both ways. But, look, the defense just solid on the night. Let's run through this one. See, Mingo to the near side is where he is. And look, he is back to pass. That is Jalen Whitty that is putting that ball up. Overthrows him.
Yeah, just turns into the receiver, which obviously, he can do. And now it's going the other way. You can see John Parrish just, that's good football. That's good physical football. I don't know if you can run it back there just in the
yes, absolutely.
John Parrish.
It's good to see John Barajas doing the work that he's.
John Barajas.
Look,
I'm sorry. I know the name changed. I still call him JP.
Right.
Then I see him like today.
So at what point do you think that Mingo was like, I'm going to get out of bounds here? He's looking to go 99 yards to the house.
There's no doubt
he's looking to house that one.
For JP, John Barajas, to turn around and look at the effort to escort. And he's hunting. He's not afraid.
And you guys have that play. They're making a call that's saying, hey, we got it. The old days of Oscar, our side's got it.
Well, John is just hunting people up.
He's just looking for some. Oh, that was a pretty good one.
Him up. There's nothing dirty about that. There's nothing, it's not a blindside block. It's good, hard-nosed physical football, and John does that as well as anybody.
Without a doubt, he is certainly a leader that's out there. This is one of Datlin's many touchdowns on the night. Had 3 of them and that's the multi-games that he's had 3 touchdowns on.
Yeah, back in Trey, we're just running a little GT counter with base in the front side.
And again, a couple of tackles that he breaks there. Again, not going down on the initial contact is Cunningham, and that's a trait, Coach, that we've seen at him throughout the year.
No, he's a load to tackle. I don't know how many tackles he's broken on the year, but he's not easy to get on the ground. He's more elusive than he probably gets credit for, but he's also finished physical at the point of contact and can finish. And
he knows where he needs to be. He sees the end zone. He sees the first down marker.
Has a really good feel for things.
And look, you better be tackling because he's not through with the play until the play's over with.
Big back, deceptively quick and fast. And
had it not been a few yards, if this was a few yards further back, you'd think it was the same play.
Yep.
This is the next touchdown. And right up the middle behind that big offensive line.
We're in, two tight ends here. Yeah, we got, Tanner attached up there. Yep, we're in, two tight ends just running.
And that hole on the right side that's opened up is just, you can see that. And he just finishes that play up.
Like, trying to see it again. Looks like we lose a little. We get a little backside. Yeah, I won't turn it into a film session. So.
Still good to go back and look at it. And it's good to get these looks at it, Coach, from you and just give an idea. And that was the second touchdown of the night. This one probably one of the easiest ones that Datlin has got on the season.
Yeah, strong power, weak power, just running this back to the weak side. Yep.
And the offensive line at that point was doing work on that. And
you and I could have scored with that one.
Well, I don't know if I'd have got out of the backfield with it. I'm going to have to go under center to get it.
Those guys up front, Trace Calcote, Jacoby Morris, Cam Calderon, Brett Bain, Hunter Rivette, Ronan Gonzalez. Those guys don't ever get their names said. So I do want to, that the tailback and the skill guys get a lot of credit for these touchdowns because they're the guy carrying the ball. But those guys is responsible for some of these, and certainly on that play right there, if we were to play it like this, I'm not taking anything away from Cunningham or whoever the ball carrier is on this, but you don't need a special running back to get the ball in on this one.
And we'll stop it right at the point of contact that's on there and see what's in there. You can see it, Coach. There's just not.
So those guys, and look, they're
57,
they're all underclassmen. They've gotten better every single work. There's a workman's mentality every single day, and you just continue to see the progress and excited about, how much better they're going to get over the course of this year as we continue to play. But it also gives you a lot of hope for the future.
Without a doubt, it is somebody that I've been very impressed with this year. And look, what a difference the offseason makes because this young man grew a lot and grew into an offensive lineman. And seeing him last year, I never would have figured an offensive lineman, but Hunter Rivette. He has really been solid, and he's put on some weight this year and gotten bigger and stronger.
Yeah, he's certainly, he's not afraid of work. One of the hardest working kids. I think there's a lot of respect for him and his work ethic and the way he goes about his business.
And he's
a junior.
Wow, okay.
So I think we got 4 juniors and a sophomore as far as the first one. Ronan's a senior. Ronan gets some game action too. So, look, there's a lot of those young linemen. There's some kids in this freshman class that certainly have to allow themselves to be developed, both physically and mentally, where they begin to understand the game. But there's a couple in this freshman class we feel really good about, and there's some that are not playing. Caleb Pearl comes to mind, Connor Reed, and the progression that he's made. There are 2 more sophomores that we certainly feel good about and get to see them every day on the practice field and the progress that they're making. Doesn't always, if people came to Monday nights, they'd see them play a whole lot more. But, and there's others,
right.
Taj is getting better as another tight end, and Tanner, certainly is playing in some of this stuff here as a sophomore. And, you flip over to the other side, there's some other guys that are just continuing to I think I was looking at the roster. We got 32 sophomores on the roster right now, and a lot of them getting a lot of game action. And certainly
several years ago you had a pretty special sophomore class, and it produced some Division I talent on there, and I see a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see, again, it goes back to development, it goes back to what you're going to do in the off season and, how you're going to develop yourself, physically, mentally. There's a lot that goes into it. Having the ability is only part of the process. There's just so much that goes into it. Everybody wants to play for a scholarship, and you want kids, and I think we've covered this on here before, and you want that to be part of it. But, sometimes I'll call them in and say, why do you play the game? Well, because I want to get a scholarship. Well, my advice to them was, you better love playing and you better love competing, better be why you play the game.
Absolutely.
Yes, you want to get a scholarship as a result of what you put on film and all this, but if you're playing for anything other than your love and your passion for the game,
then that's where the trouble's going to be.
You better keep the main thing. So,
our main
certainly
thing,
excited about some of these guys.
Our main thing is the show, but we've got to get away to a commercial break right now. Or we've got to do that. Look, I just love the freedom of the show that we've got and being able to do the way the flow dictates for us. It is West Monroe week. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and what it means as we go up to the northeast portion of Louisiana to face Jerry Arledge and those Rebels of West Monroe. We'll do that. When we come back, you're watching the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing, right here on 446 Sports.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Can you tell me about that day? There was a huge assembly, and then he came to the gym and he announced it.
I would like to honor a warrior that is right here.
I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor kidney cancer.
Colin McGee. We're going to fly you and your family to Universal Studios in Los Angeles to meet Adam Levine. Yes!
I got there, and then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and the water felt good, and I found a bunch of cool rocks. And then we went to The Voice the next day. I got to meet Adam Levine after the show, which was amazing.
I'm Bob Giles, and I believe every business should give back. Join me at gilesgivesback.com.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
If you could fly, you can play hide and go seek in the clouds. I want to be a pilot. So you can see the whole entire world. If you could fly, you could see the whole world whenever you want.
You're really gonna go on a plane with a
pilot. Seriously. Your dream's gonna come true.
Please join us in supporting Dreams Come True of Louisiana. Donate today at gilesgivesback.com.
And we are back live at Walk-Ons. It's dark, but it's not as dark as it is on your screen there. I'll give you that. When my man Chuck go, I just think it might be I don't think it's that. I think there's a switch that didn't get switched because the monitor's out on us, Chuck, is what I don't see anymore. So that may be a little bit of it. I want to think that we're there, but there he is. See, I knew we'd get around to it. Coach, it's West Monroe week.
Yes, it is.
And
yes,
that is always, look, dadgummit. We have been close in regular season. Of course, nothing will take away that big semifinal matchup when we go and beat them to go. I don't know if I could think of a better team you'd want to beat to go play for a state championship. That's just the broadcaster side. And, Coach, from the coach side, any team we beat to go to the state championship is a team we want to beat.
Yeah,
but
that's the truth. I was thinking of how to word that. Like
I got that for you.
You in the semifinals, like it don't matter. Let's go. Let's win this one.
Whoever
Let's
we
get
could
to
do that.
it. But
what is and your history with West Monroe goes back to your high school days as well, the days at Evangeline.
Played them. Started playing, and first time I ever played against them was 1999. I was a sophomore in high school, and we played for a state championship that year in the Dome. It was our first year in 5A at Evangeline, and of course, West Monroe had been winning them. I think started in '93 winning them, so that was
didn't want to stop. Yeah.
That was a big game in '99. So started there. Didn't play my junior year. We got beat in the quarterfinals by St. Aug, and then West Monroe beat St. Aug in the semifinals the next week. And then my senior year, played them in the state championship game again. Would have been 2001 football season. Played them there, and as a coach, didn't coach against them when I got back into coaching until I got to Bastrop. We played 2 regular season games and played some really good ones. My first year we they came over to Bastrop and whipped us pretty good, and then the following year, we had the ball inside, and I think we got beat 20-14 and had the ball inside the 10, and had a chance to get it in there, and you're potentially kicking an extra point trying to win the game, but credit to them, they made the play. We didn't, so played them there, and then of course coming here to Ash. Been playing since 2015, so it goes back a long way. Coach Arnold was the defensive coordinator and coaching when I was in high school and playing, and a lot of respect for him. I say that every year. A lot of respect for the program, a lot of respect for the community.
Tell me a little bit about, and I just want to talk to you about it because this is that opportunity, I guess, at that time to approach the soapbox and climb up on it. But it's a football program up there, and folks are saying, well, everywhere's a program. What's the difference between
Northeast Louisiana's got a lot of great football programs. I can't comment on the youth sports, but obviously they're probably doing a really good job, whether that's the city of Monroe and West Monroe and or Ouachita Parish. But there's probably a lot of kids, participating and having the opportunity to participate, and then there's a lot of kids, in junior high that are participating. I was talking to Kevin on Monday at the press conference thing, and I think he told me Tannehill told him that, he's fixing to get, between 80 and 100 eighth graders that will be, freshman football players next year. And not every kid necessarily makes it to graduation as a senior, but, imagine if you had that many kids to choose from, how many more kids are playing, and it just it begins to, it is a numbers game so much. The more kids you can get, the more talent there is to choose from, the more hopefully knowledge of the game, the more you play the game, the better you get at it. So, and then there's a commitment, there's look at the stadium when we went to Ouachita. There's a financial backing and there's a financial commitment to.
Well, and that's a little what it too. Every school's got the jumbotron. Every school's got the turf on in the big stand and all of that. And on these jumbotrons, there's ads that are being sold there. Where are we missing the boat on all of that?
Yeah, I've been on my soapbox on the news, and I still believe as passionately as I did a couple of years ago when I said some of the things that I said, and it's not a rock throwing contest or whatever. I got plenty that come back at me. It's just a want to improve, and I think we're trying to make those improvements. I'm ready to quit trying. I'm ready to do.
Right.
Would be, my response to that. And, look, I don't necessarily know what all I want to jump into to be honest with you with all that stuff. I know that we're going to play football on Friday night, and they get to put 11 kids out on any given play. We get to put 11 kids out on any given play, and that's what we're going to do. And, the jumbotron's not coming between the white lines.
Correct.
The band, and it's not coming between the white lines, and the stadium and all that's not coming between the white lines. So we're not going to use that as an excuse to not compete. And I don't necessarily know what I want to touch on or don't want to touch on.
Look, I served it up.
As far as all that, I've been we've been here and it's something that I take a lot of pride in. I take a lot of personal pride to be associated with the people that I'm associated with, as far as the coaching staff, and then our community and a lot of the people that support us behind the scenes. Maybe not having some of the resources that they have at a West Monroe or some of the other places in our district, Ruston, whatever, you name the spot, across the state, because we've been all across this state playing a lot of these places, and our place doesn't necessarily look like their place. Our place is better than some of the other places that we go, but there's a lot of places where, they're perennial winners that we've got some strides to make, but we've never used that as an excuse to not try. And I think that has been the case at times, or when you listen, it's hey, we're not supposed to, so we're not even going to try to, and that's just never been the approach of our kids. And it makes me think through just the supporters. I mean, there's a bunch of names rolling through my head through the years, and they weren't going to take a back seat to anybody. Won't go throw everything that you got into them, and I think that has bled down into hopefully our kids and our community. And look, we're making progress. It's funny that you bring it up. You want to make it faster. I think everybody does.
Right.
We talk about progress is slow and it's daily. And that's not always a fun thing. But, just today, we had the engineering firms, or we had the, whoever, the architects and designs beginning to start talking about the bond and building some of these facilities and putting turf down and all that.
I think she thought I was telling her to go back inside, and I was letting her know that there was somebody down here to see. Yeah. And she went back inside. So, Chuck, if you
she ran from you.
Oh, she went around. Okay, yeah. Look, okay.
We're gonna turf this field. We're gonna build a field house, and we're gonna continue to make progress, and we're gonna continue to invest in kids and try and teach the game, and really try and teach life through the game.
Right. And that's at the end of the day, Coach. That's all the matter that is there. And again, is these kids that continue. There's a reason the alumni come back to practice.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a couple of them out there this afternoon, and for them, look, those kids, what they went through in those early years of getting this thing, improved. I don't, choose my words wisely.
Well, laid the foundation for what is going to become a better and better program.
To get their, their observance, it means something to them. And boy, that just makes me so proud right there. Texted a couple of them this morning, a couple of them last night. One of the things that I always try and do here when we get into district is you go back, been playing a lot of these people for a long time. Coach Arledge's been defensive coordinator there. West Monroe's staff has been together for a while. And, same thing with Ruston, so you go back and you look at years prior, what are some things that you did to attack them and how they were defending you. So I was just watching some of the years. I went all the way back 2016. I was watching some 2016 with Jared Bird and Chico, some of those guys. I was watching, the semifinal and the regular season. You watch both those of where they were and, how much we improved from the regular season game, and then you turn on the semifinal game and just we're a much better football team. And it's also a reminder, I think Coach OJ said this the other day, that you watch those two games back to back, and it's just a reminder to you as a coach, keep coaching.
That's right.
Keep improving because, over the course of that season, from that regular season meeting to that playoff semifinal, like the progress that was made.
And part of that, too, is the last few years we've opened up district play with West Monroe, too. And so you're getting them coming right out of a homecoming game and following up. And now these guys have been more and more battle-tested.
So maybe 15 and 16 we played in week 10. I'm trying to remember 17 and 18. I can't remember the exact week. And then, 19, 20, 21.
The semifinal game to week 6 because it was week 6 that we were there.
Just the improvement that you made. So,
You speak of Coach Arledge and when you've got the expectancy of getting it back to that level in West Monroe and just speaking on Coach Arledge, well, if he struggles and doesn't win a state championship every single year, it seems like every single year they're talking about
expectation is through the roof.
It's through the roof, and all he does is respond and puts up a heck of a year right now.
All they do is every time they get backed into a corner, they do a great job, and so from me and all that stuff, and expectations are through the roof, and those are good things. And,
But there's no difference in expectation because the expectations that he has out of his 100 and however many players that he has are the same you have.
I would believe that, for nobody has a higher expectation for us than us.
That's correct.
That would be the way that I'm sure that that's the same thought process that they've applied for, 30 years now?
Easy.
Of doing it at some of the highest levels that it can be done. So, I know, I think I remember watching one of Coach Saban's where he's going off and all this stuff and all the fans are complaining and they're doing this and they're doing that. And he just, nobody's more disappointed than the players.
That's correct.
Like y'all think y'all are just, you ought to be living it every day and doing all that stuff. And it was one of he's got so many good ones when he gets to going that it's fun. But I do remember watching that one. I can't remember what game it was. It was here in the last few years where he's, kind of getting after the fans a little bit of think you're disappointed. Nobody's more disappointed than the ones doing the work every single day.
That's exactly right. Because they didn't tailgate all day long.
Yeah, that's right. So, I don't think anybody has a higher expectation for us as coaches than we have of ourselves.
Right.
And same thing, for them. I know that their expectations for the way that they want to perform, players, coaches, kids, it's as high as any external factor could be.
Indeed it is, and nothing like a little 70% chance of rain mixed in to things as well to keep things interesting. That reminds me, I guess, back Judd's first year probably quarterbacking when there was a delay of an hour.
No, that was the regular season game.
Was it?
That was the regular season game in 2020.
Okay.
It was about an hour delay and, the rain and, we were down 18-0 at half and lose the game 18-10, throwing the ball into the end zone, with a shot. To score and go for 2. And so that was the regular season game with the rain delay in 2020. And then, of course, played later that year in the semifinal game. So, that's the only rain delay, with these guys that I can remember. I think talking to Coach Arledge this morning, they had a big rain delay last year against Catholic.
Right. Well, that was another one of those battles. Take an opportunity to look on our screen at what's coming up this week. We'll look back at some of the schedule, and there you see it. You can check that out at, let me make sure none of my Nothing else is up on the screen that I probably shouldn't have up there anyway. Jokingly, I say that, of course. But that's our Week 9 matchup. And this is, you go to 446sports.com, and you're going to be able to check all of the other games. Of course, we cover Buckeye. We cover Menard. And those are good games. It's been a struggle this season for a couple, but we'll get back up and look at where we're at, Coach. And it shows you West Monroe is at 6-1 on the season going into that district contest. An opportunity for the Trojans to even their district record up at 2-2, and I know that's something that you want to do because
Absolutely.
now in week 8, 9, and 10, or week 9 and 10, you start jockeying for that playoff seeding.
Yeah, no doubt. Are we leaving that for the next segment, or are we rolling?
We're about running out of segments, so we're going to stay here. We're gonna power through,
Gotcha.
Coach. It's fourth quarter.
I thought you were throwing it to commercial, and then we were going. I mean, I think that's all important. Be a boring answer for you, regardless of playoff positioning, regardless of what week it is. There's fixing to be competition. I mean, it doesn't make it any more or less important, and I know that, but that's
right.
You want to win the ball game because you want to set yourself up for whatever draw it is you think you're going to get. I mean, you don't know, but playoffs, no playoffs. If this was the last game or the first game, I mean, it's a competition, and there's a want to win. I don't want to win anymore because it's going to put us in a good playoff position.
Right.
Or it's going to put us in a bad playoff position. There's going to be a winner and a loser, and we want to be the winner.
Correct.
So yes.
That's and they talk about a lot of coaches that are walking sound bites, Coach, and you're turning into that. These are great things. We just, Coach Causey comes to mind. Coach Andy Boone comes to mind. Coach Bachman now comes to mind. It's just.
Those are two good ones. And I the job that Coach Boone has done, and then the people that he's lined up and played. I mean, I just tip my hat from afar. Don't know the first thing about, I'm trying to think of the times if I've seen him on film. I know his kids are super physical, and they play a lot of good people, and
right.
He is not afraid to, and they're going to do what they do. He don't really care what you think or what you do think or don't think, and his kids have bought into that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And,
look,
I know they were right on the verge last year of punching their ticket to New Orleans, and
that epic battle they had with Manny last year.
Somebody's going to have to play really, really well to knock them out whenever the time comes.
Well, they do what they do, and they do it excellent.
From afar, and I think my dad played against him a few times, and I know my dad just has the utmost respect for
see how we get segued out of things
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
You just mentioned that.
No, it's right.
And when you do that for people that you respect, and of course Robbie too, job that he's done. They made that semifinal run however many years ago, and I know he's had some staff turnover, and what do you look up now? And he's right back, having a great season, and he's a really genuine guy. All my interactions with Coach Causey, consider him a friend in the profession.
Absolutely.
Not just a colleague, but Robbie's one of the good dudes.
There are coaches and coaches that look. You can ask them, and Chuck, we'll go back to that in just a second too. You can ask these coaches one question and put the headset down.
Yeah,
and about 15 minutes later,
my wife gives me the hardest time. She's like, yeah, sorry.
No, but that's they don't
lot rolling through your mind. Sometimes.
They don't tune in to hear me speak. Speaking of tuning in, if you hover over that high school tab that's right there, click on the Ash football, and that's going to bring you over there where you're able to click on the Ash West Monroe logo, and you see the little hand there. That means it is a clickable. And matter of fact, I think we can probably, if I don't, it gives you a little countdown
look at you.
to where you're going on there, too. The chat feature is available.
The broadcasts are great.
So if you're not able to, well, thank you, Coach. That means a lot.
And
then
they can. I ain't saying that just to say it. I mean, for me, as we try and build this, all this is a part of it.
Right.
And a huge part of it is you're trying to build things,
and we're happy to be
the
a
quality
small.
of the production is not a small thing. You're going to say it's small, but it's not. It's a huge part of it.
See, I coach speak. I producer speak the way you coach speak.
I know the amount of pride that you put into it and the job that you want to do, and something that I would not notice, you would notice immediately. It would drive you crazy because there's a strive and a want of perfection. whether that's attainable or not. And, so, I think this relationship and this, with 446 Sports, but with you and, the passion that you have for promoting, us, but all of Central Louisiana. If people follow it, you're going to be doing it during basketball season. You're going to be doing it during baseball season.
We will, and those
never
tabs.
Stops, and there's a void of it in our area a little bit, and you're filling it and trying to. So
indeed, we've added some coverage of the Tigers. You'll see theirs, the Sports Hall of Fame. We've picked up some things, but if you just want to go back and watch a game, all you got to do is click on this, and you'll be able to see all of the games that are here. We've got those all listed, and they link directly to the past games. But you just click on those big eyes right there, and that's going to take you over to a lot of things that we're doing here.
Wow.
And even this one, Coach, we've got to get rid of this. This is where, I don't know, did you ever see that one?
No, not watching.
You don't want to see that. We're not doing that.
Because I feel responsible. That's the whole thing.
I got to wear the dang thing next year too.
Guilty.
So, look, that's gonna wrap things up for us tonight. Chuck, go back to that logo, too, one more time. You'll see that. You're going to start seeing that logo in the middle. We're going to have that available on T-shirts and on cups and different things like that. It's our 446 Sports logo, and it will be team-oriented. So you see how this one is the purple and the gold on there, more of our traditional Trojan colors. We are going to make some blue ones for our friends at Buckeye, some gold and green for our friends out at Menard, the groups that we're cover. And again, we mentioned that out to you. If you're interested in your school or your team potentially getting covered by 446, we invite you to just drop us an email at Doug@446sports or info@446sports. Coach, as always, it has been a tremendous night. It's less than 72 hours until kickoff, so we have to get that out of the way. Normally it's less than 24 hours, but I'm very thankful you're accommodating what we do. Look, bring the kiddos out. We're having our Fall Fest in the city of Pineville. Of course, I work during the day for the city of Pineville. That is my job there that helps pay for all of this that we do. Our Fall Fest is from 6 to 8 out at Keys Park. And come out and check that out. And then Friday, bring your umbrellas. Come on down the road. We invite everybody. However, if you're not able to make it out on Friday, not make it up to Northeast Louisiana, we understand that you can tune in. Pregame begins at 6:30. Kickoff will be at 7. Coach, as always, thank you for taking time to spend out here with us.
Always enjoy it.
There you go, Head Coach Thomas Bachman, my man Chuck Perkins that is producing, and I am Doug Gann. And Miss Sadler made it out tonight. Has a big shout out there. We couldn't do any of the stuff that we do. She tows us out of a jam all the time. How about you saw what I did there? Huh? That's years of broadcast school is what that is.
I like it.
That's going to wrap it up here live from Walk-Ons. We will be back at our regular scheduled slot next week, Thursday night. Tune in. We've got a special coming up on November the 5th when LSU plays Alabama. We will do a show down there live for an hour. So we invite you to tune in. You'll hear some more about that coming up as well. But that's going to wrap it up here live from Walk-Ons. I am Doug Gann. God bless you all and good night. We'll see you next time.